Hello guys, it's Red here. So S4 just released a new update for the bikes, and I found the new bikes update really fun. I like the gameplay of the bikes and found it quite cool. It also caused me to come back to S4 after leaving for quite a while. But then recently, the Hot Dog, that's how you pronounce your name, released a video on 5 reasons why the bikes are bad in S4 and why they need to be fixed. I actually found many reasons why I actually found many counter reasons to why his reasons for the bikes being bad. But of course I do agree with some of the points he made. But here now I'm just gonna give some reasons why bikes are not as bad as they seem. Oh, and another thing I wanted to say before the video is that I actually intended to make a tips and tricks video for the new bikes, but then after the hot dog released the video, uh, I'm going to make it into sort of like a response video instead. It's going to be quite rushed because I don't have much time. Busy school life, you know. Also, as I said, since I don't have much time, I can't really I had to take some clips from my original video that I was intending to make, so it might sound a bit awkward, but the main points are there. First up, we have the supercharged nitro. So in his video, his first point was that the supercharged nitro basically was exploiting nitro as it gave you an extra nitro bar. And when I was playing, I did realize this, that activating your supercharged nitro bar basically just fills up your normal nitro bar, and then that just gives you 2 tanks. And I also agree that this is quite overpowered because you can just use up all your normal nitros, switch to the supercharged, and then go back to your normal. And with some luck, if you get some ramps in between, you just have this chain going on, which is why I found it really easy to win a lot of multiplayer matches, even if I was underranked. Okay, his second point was about the turning and responsiveness of the bikes in S48. So when I first got onto the bikes, I did realize that it was quite different from the cars, in that their turning was quite different and the responsiveness was also different, like he said. And he said that this was a problem because they were unresponsive and unpredictable, but I think that may be just mainly because we've gotten so used to the cars and we're not used to how they work now. One point that he pointed out was that the bikes sometimes could turn a lot and sometimes they didn't turn much. So I think when they turn a lot, that is when you do a knee drag, and you basically can like make turns where you normally can't, and I made a 90-degree turn as seen here. So in the following clip, he said that the turning was inconsistent as seen here.
So sometimes you can turn and you make a very short turn, sometimes you can turn and you just go straight into the wall. You don't know, and it mostly depends on the terrain of the track, but it's kind of weird, and you don't know if it's going to turn all the time, because sometimes on some turns it'll turn nice, sometimes you'll just go straight into the wall.
So in my opinion, I don't think the factor is the terrain of the track, but rather whether you're going at really high speeds. For example, if you're going at supercharged nitro, with a supercharged nitro, you would naturally turn less, so your normal knee drag wouldn't turn as well as in a supercharged nitro. So it's up for the player to learn how much they can turn with the normal nitro and the supercharged nitro, and learn how to judge whether they have to drift or not. After that, he also said that the bike's drifting takes a second to initiate after you press brake, I suppose. And maybe because I'm not too experienced with S4 and I don't really know of that how that works, because when I played with the bikes I didn't really notice that as a thing. So I'm not really sure what he was talking about here. But he also said that that requires more precise timing. And so what if it requires more precise timing? Like, if you want to make the game more skill based, then you have to make it requires more precise timing from the player, I guess. So I don't think that should be seen as something bad from the game. Following that, he also said that the steering, he kept emphasizing that the steering was really inconsistent. I did a lot of rounds on French Guiana for recording my tips and tricks video, and I don't think I really noticed a big inconsistency. But of course that's for as long as you're going at the same speeds. So I think it's mainly whether you're going really fast with supercharged nitro or you're just going at some normal speed. In which case you'll be able to turn a lot, as seen in my previous clip. The next, he said that it's a lot harder to perform knockdowns, pick up nitro, and quality checks with the bikes. And that is quite obviously due to the smaller hitbox of the bikes. And I don't actually see why that would be a problem, because the bikes being smaller, they would naturally be harder to use to pick up collectibles. And so what if it's harder? That doesn't mean it's a problem. It's just part of the game where the bikes will be harder to control to pick up some items and require more precise steering from the player. And then about not being able to knock down cars, I mean, Gameloft themselves did mention that since the bikes are more agile or faster than cars, they will need to have a downside, which is being unable to knock down cars and then getting stuck on the tail and stuff like that. And that's just balancing the bike for its agility, and maybe that would be the balancing for its overpowered nitro and stuff. And as for his point about grinding into some AI motorbike and then getting completely off track, turning 90 degrees and smashing into the wall, I mean, that does happen with cars sometimes. So if you're going to ram into the side of a bike, I guess you should just make sure that you're in perfect or the third level of nitro to make sure that you can knock them down successfully. And that is the same case with cars,
So the
right?
easiest way to do this is just like
And once again,
increase
about
hitbox,
getting stuck
very
behind
quality check,
cars,
or
since
hitbox of the
bikes
bike.
are supposed to be more
Yep,
agile, it
If
will
you
make
stab the
sense
back
for
of
you
a car
to
like
have
you
to
normally
control
would,
your bike
you just
such that
stick behind
you
the car for
sort
a
of
while, and
weave
it actually
in
is
between
really
cars
hurtful
and
for your lap
not
time.
get yourself stuck behind
So you
them
want to
as
avoid
part of the game,
knockdowns as much as
and
possible,
not
but then
not to
you
be
know how you
seen
knock
as a
down a
problem,
car?
I would say. So his next point was the wheelie, which I also originally wanted to talk about in my guide video. So the wheelie, I agree that it does hinder your steering when it is activated, but it can actually be very easily stopped by just doing what I just did there. To stop this, you have to bang to one side just for a moment, just as you activate the perfect nitro. And as for wheelies having more speed, I don't actually see that, because I did do like testing before my video, and I did see that the wheelies and the supercharged nitro without the wheelie had the same speed, which I'm just gonna show here. So you can see here that with a wheelie, I'm at around 279 at the max kilometers per hour, and this is the same bike in the next clip. And you can see that after stopping my wheelie short with the technique, I am at around 279 kilometers per hour at the most, but only just a little bit less just because I'm turning right there. And then speaking of wheelies, he also explained that you will do backflips when you, I think, do a wheelie off a ramp. And for this point, I actually do agree that the backflip is quite a redundant feature. If they wanted to actually add that, maybe they should like give you more supercharge boost or something, because doing that practically gives you nothing, and you'll be better off just cancelling your wheelie to perform a stunt and then extend your supercharged nitro. So yeah, the backflips, I do find them quite useless as well. So an agreement on that one. And finally, we're just gonna be talking about his final point.
Bikes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the glitches. There are so many glitches with the bikes. Whether it's you're just turning in French Guiana through the helix as normal and your car is just suddenly in the opposite direction.
So right here, I just want to say that those glitches, like, you do see them on cars. Like for example, sometimes when you're just going over a curb and then your whole car just skids 90 degrees into a wall. I think that's sort of like when the bike goes off a ramp, and you can also understand why that happens, because when you go off a ramp and you're turning sideways, you would be doing a tilt jump, something like that. So if you're gonna drive off that ledge there while turning, then I guess the game engine thinks that you are going to do a tilt jump. So I think they can actually quite easily fix that by maybe just only allowing tilt jumps on barrel rolls specifically. So yeah, just a glitch, and you should, I mean, not saying that you blame Gameloft really hard on this one, but I mean, it's like new game mode, so bugs will be expected. And then finally, he talks about the bugs on the curved ground or like tunnels.
Or going through the Sector 8 tunnel and just, I don't know, you're driving one way, you go up the slope, and then your car is again facing the wrong direction or right into the wall. It happens so fast, and
So for this section, I actually wanted to just record some quick clips on the spot and then like explain them. But then all of my recording software conveniently failed. The iOS 11 screen recording just stopped working. Replay Kit also stopped working, and then QuickTime Play on my Mac also didn't want to record like my iPhone screen. So tough luck there. Everything just decided to fail. So I'm just gonna have to talk of some random clips here. Um, about the steering in the slopes, I think there's two possible reasons I find for this. The first is that because on the slopes the floor is curved, so when you turn your knees, it's much easier for your knees to hit the floor. So that like gets you into a knee drag really easily, and then because of that you turn really hard and then you just like ram into the side of the wall. The other reason is the other possible reason that I thought of is that what maybe the knee drag is activated by your angle relative to the floor. So basically like on a curved wall, because you are not perpendicular to the floor, like not straight or rather slanted, if you know what I mean. Because of that, knee drag is like activated much easily, and like on the curved wall when you activate knee drag or something, it'll like fly, it just turn really hard now. And because of that, it's also almost impossible to activate a perfect supercharged nitro, basically a wheelie, on a curved wall, because when you activate a wheelie, you either have to turn hard at the start to not do a wheelie, which will cause you to like just spin out of control and then hit the wall, or you just have to do a wheelie, and that also makes it hard, like impossible to steer in the curved wall or in the tunnels. So yeah, I do agree that the curved walls and tunnels need to be fixed, and I think it's just all on the detection of the knee drag that needs to be fixed there. So just yet another bug, and I think like the core, the game mechanics not actually broken, but just the bugs with the detections for knee drags, which are new to the game, so yeah, bugs are expected. So basically that's it for this video. Just responses to your thoughts, the hot dog, and if you are by any chance watching this for some reason, watching my unpopular videos, cough cough, I just want to make it clear that this, I don't want to like insult anyone with this, just hope to make some friendly discussion, yeah. Oh, and one last thing, I think I said somewhere in the video that your video was called, it's like 5 reasons why the bikes are bad. I didn't mean to say that. I forgot that your title was more like problems with motorbikes. So yeah, make that clear. So hope you enjoyed this video and hope it helps. Bye.